thanks everyone for joining. I'm Janet Jansen. I'm a senior marketing manager and I work on behalf of Oya Renewables. And we're happy to present this webinar on community solar for towns and counties. And we have our two experts here from Oya Renewables, Pallavi Balakrishna and Ethan McSpurin. And so I'm just going to leave it to them to introduce themselves and to get the webinar started. So thanks everyone again for joining.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Janet. Great to be here today. I just want to do a quick check that you can all hear me okay. Thumbs up. Yes, perfect. So great to have everyone here today. Thank you for taking the time to attend. My name is Pallavi, Senior Manager of Originations at Oya Renewables, and I help educate large municipalities and corporations meet their clean energy goals in New York, as well as assist with putting together our community solar strategy in New York, as well as other states as we expand. We are looking forward to learning more about you. So throughout this webinar, we will send some questions your way, and we'd love to see you engage and participate. If you have questions about any of the content we're presenting during the session, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we will pick them up at the end of the webinar. So with that, I will just get Ethan to do a quick introduction and go over our agenda today.
Thanks, Pallavi. Hi, guys. My name is Ethan. I am a business development representative here at Oya Renewables. I've been working at the company for 1 year now, and I work primarily with our originations team to help find subscribers for our community solar projects. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about Oya Renewables as a company, discuss what community solar is and some of the benefits associated with the program. We're going to focus on 2 case studies for villages and towns, respectively, in the state of New York. Some of the personalized programs that we have that we run within these communities, focus on how to get started, and then finally wrap it up with a little discussion on some of the other solutions that Oya Renewables has and some of our other products. Just before we get deep into anything, though, we wanted to ask you guys a little question about where everyone was from. So there's a couple of different answers. If none of them apply to you, there's an outside region. Yeah, beautiful. I see a bunch of you filling that up, which is great. Yeah, we really just wanted to get an understanding about where everyone was from. So if you don't mind, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to fill that out now. That would be awesome. And with that, I'm going to hand things back to Pallavi, who's going to discuss a little bit more about the company.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So just before we get started, I'd like to give a quick introduction about Oya as a company, what we do. We are an energy transition solutions platform, and essentially we develop solar energy facilities and clean energy technologies to make it accessible for everyone in North America. And so one of the ways we do this is through our community solar program and project. And you can see an image of one of our current community solar projects on the right-hand side there. Essentially, this is a way of us making clean energy accessible to everyone in the community without having to actually put panels on your rooftop and no cost to sign up. And that's something that Ethan will get into explaining how it works very shortly. So far, we've developed approximately 2 gigawatts of solar energy projects across North America. And just to put this in perspective, it's equivalent to electrifying approximately 170,000 homes in the US. So quite a significant impact that we've had so far. And we really look forward to continuing our efforts to decarbonize the grid in New York. As you all know, it's very important to ensure that we are going away from fossil fuels and relying on cleaner sources of energy. Currently, we are a top 4 developer of community solar in New York, and we've achieved this significant result due to the strong and diverse employee base that we have that continues to grow across our several offices, as well as our experienced leadership team. We have quite a few folks on our team that have a significant number of years of experience in this space. So with that, we are very confident as we continue to expand. As I mentioned previously, we are very active with developing community solar projects in New York. We have 6 operational projects across several counties and approximately 10 to 12 projects that are estimated to turn on this year. So with any typical community solar project, we find and lease approximately 30 to 40 acres of unused land. We then sign a lease up with the farmer in some cases, or the landowner that's, just wants that additional income. We then develop and construct the solar project on that piece of land, and that takes us anywhere from 6 to 8 months to do that. And then we finally connect that project with the end user, and the end user can be anyone as long as you have a utility account, right? So that could be a municipality, a village or town, buildings, a resident if you're a renter or a homeowner, and you're able to benefit from savings directly on your utility bill and at no cost to you. And again, Ethan will walk through some of the details very shortly. Just to also give you some perspective about the impact that one project makes, as you look on the screen here, we're highlighted a project based in Niagara County. One project is able to electrify about 800 homes and has the ability to offset approximately 7,300 tons of carbon dioxide. So quite a large impact when you look at all of our projects collectively. With that, I'll just turn it back to Ethan. Oh, Ethan, you're on mute.
Absolutely. Sorry about that. Just looking at the poll here from the first question, looks like we've got a couple New Yorkers here at the webinar, but then a lot of people from outside, which is really interesting as well. So really kind of great to learn a little bit more about all of you guys. We just wanted to pose a second question before I do a bit of a deeper dive into community solar. I just wanted to learn how many of you have heard about community solar before. So let us know. Are you an expert? Have you heard of community solar? Maybe you've passed by some of the of our projects on the highway before, or if you know a little bit and you want to learn a little bit more, just let us know. And I'll give you guys some time to answer that as we move on to the next slide.
Community solar is?
So this is community solar. Essentially, community solar providers such as Oya, using unused land, will build community solar projects. So if you look at step 1, that's the actual production of the project itself. People in the surrounding areas are then able to join community solar programs and receive credits for a portion of the electricity that the farm produces. So that's step 2, generating local energy. This process then allows you to receive these credits on your utility bill for energy that is produced not near yourself or not on your property. So these credits actually are able to be realized for a 10% discount on your utility bill. And another one of the benefits, obviously, using community solar is the impact it will have on the environment. So that is going to be reducing your carbon footprint and making a difference not only in your community, but on the planet itself. So again, the benefits include a 10% discount on your utility bill, but then also reducing your carbon footprint and benefiting the community around you. Some people, for a commonly asked question about the community solar process, often inquire about where the electricity is going. So for the projects that we have built, they then pump power directly into the utility grids. So we work mostly with National Grid and NYSEG. And once the power is in that utility, the subscription or the sign up for community solar shows a demand or support for using the companies to use renewable energy sources. So that's kind of how the subscription piece works, but I'll get a little bit more into that later. Moving on to our next slide, we really want to make sure that everyone's aware that community solar is for everybody. So that could be a house, be a resident, it could be if you own a small donut shop, a large manufacturing company, a school, or if you're a municipality looking to reduce the cost on your traffic lights or on your town hall. It really is for everyone. Everyone can kind of realize these community solar credits and then end up saving on their electricity bills. And one of the best parts about community solar is how Oya and community solar providers handle the barriers to entry for using renewable energy sources. So if you look at the top right here, you'll see hassle-free, no roof solar. We want to make sure that people are able to access renewable energy for those who maybe can't afford it, the high costs to install, high maintenance costs. Some people don't own the roof over their own heads. So again, more to the accessibility feature of community solar, as well as some people's roof integrity actually can't support large solar panels. So we really do a good job, and community solar does a really good job of kind of taking away those barriers to start realizing the benefits of using renewable energy. Like I said before, access for everybody. One of the big points that we always like to harp on is that it is very useful for municipalities, be that for buildings that they have, but also there are grants associated that come through the state, through NYSERDA, that are available when a municipality signs up a certain amount of residential subscribers. So to talk a little bit more about that, I'm going to hand things back to Pallavi, who's going to speak a little bit more on the grants associated with community solar.
Yeah, perfect. So on top of municipalities benefiting from a reduced utility bill, they are able to unlock grant and funding that comes from the government-backed NYSERDA. NYSERDA is essentially New York's clean energy agency. And through this grant program, municipalities are able to get anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. And they can use that towards whether it's other, capital projects in the area or other clean energy initiatives. So if a municipality has already signed up their meters associated with the town hall, water treatment plants, etc., we would then extend this program to residents and members in the community, as well as municipality employees. And so through that, depending on the size of the municipality, a municipality with up to 40,000 residents can receive $5,000 if we sign up 10 residents, and then a municipality with over 40,000 residents would receive $15,000 if we sign up when and if we sign up 25 residents. And so this is quite a bit of funding that's left on the table if not taken advantage of. It's free money available that is very important, especially in this high inflation environment where capital budgets are constrained. This funding can be used towards revitalizing community spaces and public areas, or implementing other clean technologies such as EV chargers and LED lights, something that OER can also help with on those types of initiatives. So we're in the process of working with a few municipalities to help them with this grant application, two of which are the Village of Perry and Town of Independence. So with the Village of Perry, we signed them up, the municipality building up approximately a year or so ago. They're estimated to save approximately $7,000 per year. And they're making a large environmental impact equivalent to 364 metric tons of carbon dioxide. To put things in perspective, that is equivalent to taking off close to 80 gas-powered vehicles off the road a year. So the mayor of the village has been very supportive of this as he embarks on implementing other sustainability measures, such as EV chargers that we're also intending to help them with. There's other things that we've done to expand this program across the municipality, such as going to the farmers market, talking to residents, talking to local business owners, and we've signed up quite a few residents and businesses in the process. We have also come up with a sponsorship referral program that Ethan will talk about very shortly. Another example is the Town of Independence. Similarly, we signed them up approximately over a year ago, and they're starting to see savings on their utility bills. They should be saving close to $40,000 over 25 years, and 25 years is approximately how long a project operates. Potentially longer in some cases. Similarly, having quite a large impact in terms of the greenhouse gas reductions. And then with the support of the town supervisor, we were also able to sign up the largest school in the town, Whitesville Central School District. The school is also embarking on their clean energy goals beyond community solar, which including electrifying their buses. And so that's something that we will be helping the school with in the future as well. So these are two examples. We really hope to have a similar impact across other municipalities in New York. And our goal is to come up with programs that are personalized and speak to the community. So we want to really get close to, the members of the community, find out what is important to them. It could be a referral program that they like. In some cases, it could be needing assistance with their, putting up EV chargers in their town. So that's something that we would like doing. And I think Ethan will talk about this a bit further.
Awesome. Thanks, Pallavi. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we like to do more than anything is find out new creative ways to educate folks on community solar. We know community solar probably isn't the top of everyone's mind. It's probably not a program that everyone's familiar with. So we like to focus on the education piece a lot when approaching new wannabe subscribers, new communities, and any sort of personalized program that we're going to encounter. Obviously, we like to do webinars. Thank you again all for signing up. That was really awesome of you to be here with us today. We like to attend community events, like Pallavi was saying before, such as markets. I remember we were in Perry, Village of Perry, last June, which was super fun. We got to go there, set up a little booth, meet a lot of local people, meet the town's mayor, which was awesome. Online resources, we like to post on websites, social media posts through the town or village itself. We like to use those channels a lot because it shows kind of the trust that people from the municipal level have with the programs that we are running. And we want to be as transparent as possible for people who are subscribing to community solar about what this is and where it's coming from. And lastly, a lot of the all of the projects actually have their own information sheets, little info sheets that show where the project is. So we want to, again, be transparent as to where this energy is coming from and the environmental impact that the entire project has on the community around it. And as, again, Pallavi said before, one of the things that we are most proud of is our new SOL referral program. So this program specifically allows us to work with our subscriber base to access those who maybe, again, are unfamiliar about community solar and all the benefits associated with it. Specifically, I like to use the example of a business in Perry that is a reptile sanctuary. And we promise to sponsor one of the reptiles actually at the sanctuary if the subscriber was able to bring on 3 new clients, I guess, for our community solar projects. There are similar programs. The Solar Referral Program also reaches out to residents. There are certain benchmarks for bringing on a certain level of subscribers associated with that as well, that have different rewards for how many people you bring on. But we just really wanted to extend this so people could, benefit from getting their families involved, getting their friends involved. Once they start to realize the benefits of community solar and getting realize these savings, there's really no downside into also, wanting your friends and family to realize these benefits as well. So we wanted to create a program that rewarded people for kind of using the word of mouth, which we have found to be really useful with a lot of our subscribers. Moving on to the next slide, we're just going to look at the final question. We wanted to know if at this point, we're interested to learn if any of you think that community solar could benefit you, yourself, the town that you're involved in. Let us know if you still have any questions, though. Obviously, we're going to try our best to answer that. But I think from the outline that we've said or we've gone through today, we want to make it, again, really as clear as possible, all the benefits that community solar can have, both for you, your community, and any sort of town or municipality or village that you're associated with. And finally, for my last little piece, moving on to the next slide, I wanted to go over kind of how the subscription process works. So in the top right-hand corner here, you're going to see two examples of standard bills, one for National Grid, one for NYSEG. One of the best parts about community solar is the fact that it works with consolidated billing. So you're not going to receive a bunch of different pieces of paper every single month. Community solar credits actually appear directly on your bill. So if you see the highlighted portions on both of these bills here at the bottom, the only difference between not being subscribed to a community solar project and once you're subscribed is you're going to see a tiny little negative sign there at the bottom with that realizes the credits. And we all love the minus, especially when it's on utility bills. It's going to just take that up to 10% discount off every single month for as long as you're associated with the actual project. And now for my favorite part, as one of the big things that I do here at OYA is talk to people and help them subscribe to the projects. The actual subscription process is very straightforward. We've done a lot of work kind of behind the scenes at making this process as easy to go through as possible. To understand and to follow. The first step really is as soon as we receive a utility bill from a want to be subscriber, it's up to me then to analyze that bill and create a standard agreement, very simple, straightforward community solar agreement, fill it out for the subscriber with their allocation percentage and the usage of the meter or the subscriber. I send them back the bill the agreement rather. And once the agreement is signed, it takes about 3 months or 3 billing cycles to verify with the utility company and exchange the information with them before you can start seeing the credits appear on your bill. That 3-month period is only to really make sure that the transition between not being subscribed and subscribed is as seamless and as smooth as possible. We don't want there to be any hiccups with your bill. We've got really great teams that do around the clock work at making sure all of our subscribers are taken care of. We've got an email that they can all get in touch with us at any time. And we've got a really great team here that really focuses on putting their needs first and making sure that all of our subscribers are able to kind of understand, again, speaking to the transparency of the project they have subscribed to. And finally, on this page, if you go to the bottom, you will see what we call the Community Solar dashboard. So as soon as you subscribe to Community Solar, you will have access to this dashboard. It essentially is going to show your savings to date. So after 5 years, hopefully that number's up in the thousands. And you can kind of look back and realize all the awesome potential and benefits again with community solar. But another fun little graphic below the savings is going to show the environmental impact. So I know for everyone, maybe not for everyone, that's not what they're looking for, but definitely we have heard a lot of feedback from people who really like seeing the impact, the environmental impact rather, that being associated with a community solar project has. So super great. And finally, I'm going to throw things back one more time to Pallavi. She's going to talk a little bit more about some of the other OYA renewable opportunities right before we have a little question and answer period. So thanks guys for staying with us. Back to you, Pallavi.
Thank you. And before I do that, do you want to just address the answers that have come in from the polls? It looks like the results I am amazed to see that a lot of people are very much interested or think that their town can benefit from it. So we would definitely want to chat with you. We will link our contact information at the very end. Please get in touch with us if you have any questions, which I see a few other people do have some questions. So we'll take that right at the very end. Now, just to finally wrap things up, I just want to spend maybe just a minute here to let you know about our entire full suite service solution. So when we talk to a lot of our clients over the past several months, they are getting more comfortable, of course, with community solar, as you all are today. On top of that, they're looking to make a larger impact with their sustainability goals. So on top of community solar, we've been getting questions about EV chargers. So that's becoming definitely, there's high demand for that with several rules and regulations out in different states, but in New York in particular, we've been getting questions about EV chargers, interest about EV chargers, as well as like things like carports and geothermal energy. So, you know, on the back of that, we have now come up, we have to evolve with the market, with the industry, and with our clients' needs as well. And so as a result of that, we are now able to fulfill a lot of these other clean energy needs and initiatives. So happy to answer specific questions about these other technologies, but for the purpose of today, we do want to focus on community solar. So with that, we do want to see if anyone has any questions. Please feel free to link it here. I'm just going to take a look at the chat, and we will get started with answering your questions. Again, on the screen here, you can see our emails and phone numbers. Please get in touch with us after, and we're always there to answer your questions.
So thanks, Pallavi and Ethan. I think that was very informative. So we're going to turn right now to your questions. And just a reminder, if you do have a question, please write it in the chat, and Pallavi and Ethan will be more than happy to answer it. And if you do have a question that you think of later, just make sure you jot down our contact information and reach out to us directly. We'd be more than happy to hear from you. So the first question comes from Zaid, and she asks, why do people need to subscribe if you are already feeding power into the grid and it is being consumed?
Great question. So Ethan, go ahead. Ethan,
yeah, for sure. So community solar subscriptions are really, there are a bunch of things, but one of the things that they are is a display of demand or support for the utility companies using renewable energy. So obviously they have the ability to create all this energy themselves. And the fact that we're coming in and supplying them with power, it's a little bit more expensive for them, but there obviously are benefits to them and to residents and businesses for using renewable energy. So there's no other way to get the energy or the electricity to houses and businesses other than through obviously these grids that currently exist. So we are putting the energy into the grids. However, we want to know who specifically, supports these new initiatives, supports community solar, and we want to make sure that those people are the ones benefiting from the savings associated with community solar. So obviously, millions of New Yorkers, if we were to put a community solar farm, send the electricity through National Grid, let's say, everyone could save a couple cents, but obviously we want to prioritize the people who are associated with the community solar projects who show that support, and make sure that they're the ones receiving the economic benefits for using renewable energy. I hope that does a decent job answering the question.
Yeah, that does. And if you have any follow-up questions, happy to answer that.
Okay, so Stephen asks, does this program exist outside of New York? Is this nationwide? And then he has another question, but I think we'll leave that to a side because it's a bit of a different topic.
Sure, I think this is a multi-pronged question. I think Stephen also had a question about if this is going to be available after, and I believe it is. It is being recorded. So we will share the link for you to watch after. This program is very, very popular in New York right now. So I could speak to it being, we've had a few years of this program already in New York, and it's come to a place where it's, like a well-oiled machine and very seamless, I would say. Outside of New York, there are bills that have been passed and programs that are in the initial launching stages. So the answer is yes. There are some states, and it really depends on whether that state has signed the bill in order to actually even have a project launch in the state. Some states that come to mind that are in the process of the bill being launched already in a program kind of in the stage of development and launch are Virginia, we have New Jersey, and I believe Illinois as well. There's about like 5 to 10 states where we're in that process right now, and some in more early stages. So the answer is yes. If you want specific details of a particular state and whether we operate in those states, I can definitely speak to that. So to answer your second question, are these federal grant programs? I would say they're state specific, like each state has to pass the bill in order to have a program like this. So with New York State passed the bill, and then we were able to launch this program. So it is state driven. There is general federal support for this, such as like even EV charging, there's federal support for stuff like this. And then at the state level, it really depends on each state for them, you know, lies with the state to launch the program. So I would say it mostly lies at the state level. There is federal support as well.
Okay, thanks, Pallavi. Joseph asks, do you sell retail or wholesale to the grid operator? And I think this really speaks to the heart of what community solar is.
Do you sell retail or, oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good question. The way community solar works is it should follow the retail price, and there's more to this, like the way we are for the energy that we send to the grid, the utility, whether it's National Grid or NYSEG, they would compensate us at a certain dollar amount that should follow retail. There's several components, about 4 to 5 components that make up for it, such as, you know, I don't want to get too bogged down with the details, but things like capacity value, there's some value associated with the location it is in, but generally speaking, it should follow the retail price. And a portion of the retail is wholesale capacity. So I hope that answers the question.
Thanks, Pallavi. And Joseph, thanks, Pallavi.
Okay.
And Joseph, if you have any other questions, if you like more details, like I think Pallavi would be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Sandy, I'm just going to answer this question for you. We do lease land for solar, and we do have programs right now. What we do look for some specific characteristics, and we only lease land to from people who we know that we can build on their land. I would recommend that you reach out to either Ethan or Pallavi, and they can direct you to one of the people who are responsible for that and can answer more of your questions. Okay, and then Joseph asked another questions. I believe he's asking what happens to a leasee if you fail, or to a lease, if you fail to acquire enough subscribers to purchase the electricity you generate.
Great question. We've never had that situation happen, and I hope that doesn't happen. Right now, where we're at is we've had enough demand to continue putting up projects in New York State, in National Grid and NYSEG. What I don't see a scenario where there will not be enough subscribers, because we have the ability to not only sign up residents, but we can also fully subscribe a project to a large commercial entity if they choose to. So I think there's enough demand right now to support it. Worst case scenario, we just sell it to the utility. That's another option. But I mean, we haven't had this situation so far, and I don't foresee this happening, but I hope that answers the question.
Okay, thanks, Pallavi. And then Mitchell asks, are you looking to partner with landowners that have 150 acres or more for a large-scale solar farm project? Yes, we are. We're always looking for opportunities where we can continue to develop solar. So again, I reach out to Pallavi and Ethan, and they can put you in touch with the right person to answer more of your questions about this. And then Sean asks, when you build a project, do you keep the project or sell the project?
We keep it. So ideally, and I think I mentioned this before, we take a lot of care when we build our projects to make sure that we have the relationship with the landowner and the farmer, and the person that we have a lease with, all the way through to the end consumer. We want to have a relationship with everyone in the process. And so as we continue to operate the plant, I intend on keeping that relationship with the customer for the long term and not selling it to another company. And you know, there's a kind of that break in the relationship. So the goal is to keep our projects for the long term. We do not plan on selling them.
Okay, that looks like that's about it for any questions.
Janet, Give me 1 second. There are a few more questions I think that were missed, and I want to take the opportunity to just go back to them, if that's okay. I think I got them as a direct message. So,
Oh, yeah, sure, of course.
so there's just 2 questions here from Kristen. We have a sheep farm in CNY, so Central New York, and we're looking for control contracts for grazing our sheep on solar sites. Great. I don't think that was a question, that was a comment, Kirsten. So we would really want to stay and get in touch with you. If you could just put your email address here in the chat, we would be happy to chat with you. Something that we are trying to do is also incorporate agrivoltaics, and what that essentially means is maintain some form of, you know, whether it's sheep grazing on the farm to help with the vegetative control. Like you said, we also want to exploring having a beef farm or, you know, having some form of other ability to farm maybe crops and things like that. I'm not an expert at all, but we do work with our asset management and operations team to look at other ways to make this, you know, have more of an impact with the farmers that we're in contact with. So that's one question. Another one from James: is the small municipality offered grants at 5K for 10 residential units, or cut off at 5K for any number above? It's a one-time grant, James. So the minimum requirement to get the $5,000 is 10 residential contracts or customers. A municipality is free to, you know, subscribe 10 to 20 to 30 residents, but the grant remains at $5,000. Now, one thing to keep in mind is there are other programs as part of this NYSERDA Clean Energy Communities grant that where you're able to add on some other clean technologies like EV charging and, you know, heating and cooling and geothermal to get higher grants. So I'll leave it at that. We can talk about that a bit further, but I think that answers your question. I think there are more questions coming up, Janet.
Yeah, so we just had one that came in from LinkedIn, and the person asks, does my location matter? If the project is far away, would I be able to sign up?
Ethan, do you want to take that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really great question, actually. Thank you to whoever asked that. Essentially, it does not matter where you are, as long as you are connected to the same utility company that the project is. So if you're over in Niagara County and you get your energy from National Grid, and we have a project up in Jefferson County that's pumping electricity into National Grid's grid. As long as you get your utility from National Grid, you can still realize community solar credits from that project. So it has far less to do about where you're located and all to do with making sure that you're connected to the same utility company that our projects are.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ethan. So we had another question about leasing land, and of course, just get in contact with us. If you are somebody that has land and you would like to lease your property to us for solar, we always would like to talk to people who are interested in doing that. Thanks again, Pallavi and Ethan. That was very informative. And if anybody has any other questions, please let us know. Reach out to us. Our information is there on the screen. Thanks, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.